All right, guys, welcome back. Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Man, we got the good old numismatic market dance for Monday. So we're going to be discussing a few finance things today. What's been going on in the coin world here in the last week, and a few notable things to talk about sale-wise. That is new for sure, and we're going to talk about whether or not you guys should do it. But as always, we always have to start off with a little plug for our good old live coin Q&A, folks. You guys know who you are. If you haven't joined one of our Monday live streams, tonight we have one, by the way. I'm going to be your host on that one. But we will be there to talk about your coin questions and all that great stuff. If you haven't submitted your coin questions, you have something that you're interested in knowing more about, go ahead and send us an email at info@livecoinqa.com. Don't be shy. Go ahead and send it over. We are a great group of people. If you don't reach me directly, where, that's going to be about 10% of the time, because we have a panel of about 8 to 10 people that look through the emails on a weekly, daily basis, then, we have all the experts to help fulfill your need, for sure. But for the holidays, you guys need to come on by the live coin Q&A channel anyways and hit subscribe, because we are going to be giving away tons of really awesome coin and currency collecting products. We have a few of them right here. We're giving away albums, we're giving away scopes, we're giving away other various supplies, 2x2s, the plastic ones, the really nice ones, you name it. That's all going to be in there. Tubes, boxes, long boxes, short boxes, medium boxes. I mean, we show love to all the great sizes out there. And then later on, somewhere down the line, there's also a microscope that's going to be in play as well. I mean, sure, why not? Just go ahead and come check it out. We would love to have your support. Yeah, and just, it's a lot of fun. Faux show. But in today's Monday Coin and Currency Finance episode, here's kind of like a general lineup of a few of the things that we're going to talk about today. A notable 1972 Kennedy half-dollar sale that is quite stunning, and one that you don't possibly find, pop up on the auction circuit that often. We're going to talk about that coin and whether or not you should even try to find the same type of coin. We're also going to be discussing the 2021 limited edition silver proof set that went on sale October 1st, so right before the weekend. We were going to take a look at the kind of like the first-hand look at the secondary market sales of that product. Quite surprising, to be honest. But how long will it last, and should you hold on to these? We're going to take a look there. And finally, we have some pretty cool and innovative West Point circulating quarter set sales that have wrapped up here in the last couple days. We're going to take a look at that as well. Kind of a new trend that we're seeing on some of these to help, I guess, make a little bit more money out of it. I don't know how sustainable that is, but we're going to go ahead and check that out as well. But the first order of business, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. It's that one right there you see on screen. And sorry, my ugly mug is kind of covering it up a little bit. But we have a 1972p Kennedy half-dollar. It's not an error. It's not a variety. It's just straight up a regular business strike circulating Kennedy half-dollar. Probably either came out of a BU roll at one point, or it was probably harvested out of a mint set somewhere down the line. And it's an incredibly clean example. Lots of good luster. It's actually one of the better strikes that I've seen on its 72. Because this was kind of that year where you begin to see the crappy strikes on them, especially on the reverse. But all in all, pretty nice coin. And this one right here, graded NGC Mint State 67+. It's sold on greatcollections.com. Unfortunately, it didn't quite make the cut into my Monday market report, and the big reason why is we already had a really stacked Monday market report, and I figured this coin probably needs no other coins sitting next to it. We're going to isolate this one from all the others, because there's a lot of people out there that still roll hunt half dollars, And a lot of people really have these virgin US mint sets that are generally have been gone unnoticed, untouched for years, if not decades. So this might be an opportunity, but then again, you guys know my stance on grading ultra modern coins. I would say don't. It's a very risky proposition, to say the least. Very rarely would you be able to recoup your money, even if you had set 10, 20, 30 of these things in a bulk submission. It's really hard to realize the top grade of these coins, where it's really only going to matter to one group of people, and that's the registry set crowd that likes to collect and assemble full sets of the highest graded specimens for each date of their series of choice. And that's, again, where all the money is going into, unless you have the top end coin or the top two, because we've also seen kind of a market movement in the secondary kind of second top pop, from the top pop, the second one down, grade wise. Maybe it might be a mid state 67 and not the plus. We've seen some movement on those particular type of coins, because let's say the population on this coin is only at 1 or 2, that only fills the need for a couple of registry set people. So obviously people need the second rate coins to add to their registry set until the next 67 plus comes along. Now, sale-wise, yeah, this thing is just a gauntlet. You've heard me say that word before a few times. I mean, it really, truly is. This thing was on fire like an exploding volcano. It's got a Vesuvian-style $2,900 price tag that ultimately, through 9 bids, is what it ended up at. And keep in mind, that's with buyer's fees. Usually when I talk about prices of these coins, it's with the buyer's fee, okay, which is the total amount of money, including the hammer price, and the buyer's fee is what the ultimate price is for the coins. Some have argued like, oh, well, it sold for $2,600. Well, yeah, that's the raw amount of money for the seller of that coin. The consigner of that coin is only going to award that amount of money to the seller. And then, if it reaches a certain amount of money, I think Great Collections doesn't charge a fee at all, because they end up making all the money on the buyer's fees. So it either sold for $2,600 or $29. It's your pick. Obviously, that's why they have both figures on there at all times, and it's a pretty remarkable looking coin. Now, in terms of its population, let's go ahead and check this one out, and we're going to talk a little bit about whether or not you should grade this. Again, I've talked about grading any sort of modern coins in the hopes that you could try and find a top pop grade is really risking it all. It really is. You could spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars grading these coins and not having any sort of success. Now, we're on PCGS's website. Obviously, the coin that sold is NGC graded, but it kind of helps to see where the population is on PCGS, since it's kind of the gold standard. Now, here's 1972, and you also see 50C, so it's a 50-cent piece. You go all the way across, all the way until you see the last number on this particular line item. There's 21 examples graded in 67. All right, so that kind of makes that NGC graded coin a little bit extra special because it's a plus designation. Normally, if there's a plus designation on a PCGS graded coin, you would see another number under this 21. Like, for instance, if that coin that we saw sold through Great Collections was a PCGS mid-state 67 plus, and it's the only one available out there at that grade level, you'll see a number 1 right here, under this 21, and that's where the plus designation comes in. And in reality, what that is it's simply just a half a point grade higher than a 67. But yeah, 67 plus, I could see why it sold for $2,900. Now, in terms of this coin is not the easiest coin to find with a very clean surface. Oftentimes you see a lot of these plagued with various planchet nicks and various other different types of marks, because over 153 million of these were produced. It's not exactly a low mintage for the coin. It's actually quite high. these were made in rapid succession, okay? All of the minted coins went into a hopper. They're all clanging and banging and clashing against each other. So, the coins are not clean. And they're a pretty big size. So they're kind of a bigger bullseye for some of the other coins hitting it. And, by the time it all settles, the thing will have, a few different types of bag marks and all that type of issues. So, it's a very difficult coin to find clean. It really is. And finding one that's well struck with great luster is quite the challenge. And I think that's the big reason why that this unicorn 1972 NGC graded coin, first of all became a 67 plus, but sold for that amount of money, because the Kennedy $half registry set crowd is really a lot bigger than you guys realize. So, I mean, it's less than maybe 0.1% chance that you will obtain a 67 or higher from these coins, even in spite of its high mintage. A lot of those coins, a lot of the 153 million that were produced, actually went out into circulation. They ended up in slot machines. They ended up, in the banks. People are coin roll hunting them. They're doing this with them, right out of the roll. So a lot of them are beaters, all right? So the survival rate for the truly high-end examples, anything above mid-state 65, is quite tough. Now you see the crest, or the top of the mountain, is this mid-state 65 at 483 examples graded extant, and then it drops off significantly at 66. So 66 is obviously the grade to try and get, but even at a 66, the coin is probably worth no more than about 40-50 bucks. Because 185 is still quite a nice, healthy amount of coins graded at that level. It just wouldn't make sense to send these off to grading. Much like a lot of other modern coins, there's no safety net with these. It's either you go for it all and you risk a lot of money trying to get that 67 or 67 plus, or you get nothing at all. Because at the end of the day, if you ended up with a buttload of mid-state 66 graded 72 Kennedys, what are you going to do with them? You going to throw them up on eBay and try and recoup your grading submission fees back? It's going to be a slow seller. I mean, these things are not silver. They're not varieties. They're not anything. So again, this is a very, very risky proposition to try and grade out. All right, next order of business. We're going to take a look at the 2021 Silver Proof set. This is the limited edition type. This is usually available at the end of the year every year since about 2016. This one a little bit different. We don't have 5 America the Beautiful quarters like we did in the previous installments of this set. And traditionally, these were lower priced. But because of demand of silver and all that great stuff, we've seen just a meteoric shoot up or rise in the actual amount of money that the U.S. Mint is expecting for this set. $235. There aren't 5 ATB quarters anymore. There are now 2 American Silver Eagles. This was made available on sale October 1st with a product limit of only 50,000 pieces. Total of 6 coins altogether. Your Roosevelt dime and Kennedy are still 999 fine silver, as is all the other coins in the lot. It used to be that this was a set that had, I think, 9 coins, and we're selling somewhere in that like 185, 195 range, new from the U.S. Mint. It might have been even a little bit lower than that, its first year or two. But this was, kind of like that constant every year set. It's like, if you weren't able to get any of these coins throughout the year, it was kind of like your last chance to get it. Now, I think with this one, it's a little bit different because it's got the changeover reverse Silver Eagles. You got the reverse of 86, the reverse of 2021 in one set. Keep in mind that these 2 coins were sold separately earlier in the year, and they were pretty much instant sellouts. Okay, they sold within the first 15-20 minutes. They were all gone. This one right here was kind of a last-ditch effort for those folks who were never had the opportunity to get those 2 coins individually. Now can get them both together and get a few other bonus coins in the mix. So all the coins, 999 fine, 50,000 total product limit. It was a one and done type of affair. Total silver content is just under 3 ounces total. So it's a quite substantial premium for buying this particular set for sure at $235. But yeah, this was effectively, I would say, the last big major US Mint release for 2021. And that's it. But usually I've been highly critical of this particular series every year, this limited edition proof set, because it always tanks. Within about 3-4 months, the price of these things have dropped down 20-25%. After coming out of the gate relatively strong. I think we're seeing the same thing here this year with the 2021 limited edition proof set. And here are some prelim type of prices that people are asking on these sets with confirmed orders. There are the ones that are least reasonable out there at $450 in spite of the best offer auction or listing type. But these are more along the lines of what you would expect for these sets at $300 or less. Seems to be the going rate for these. We're going to look at the completed sales here momentarily, but as far as the landscape of how many of these are out there on eBay today, there are a total of 830 listings for this 6-coin limited edition set. Now, when we go to scrub in the sold listings of this set from ended recently, so these are literally fresh out of the box. There's been a few sales early this morning already. We're looking at the top end $300 for these, and they're kind of splashing around at around $289, $265 here. It really depends on how quickly you need to move it. I think people were kind of anticipating that this particular set was going to have a much deeper resale value at maybe closer to $400 because it has the 2 Silver Eagle changeover coins in there. But this is exactly what I would expect. Quite surprising. It's a little bit higher than I originally expected because we've seen just a marginal uptick of these sets after release or the day of release, as long as you have a confirmed order. I've seen some of those $190 sets from years past sell for about $225 to $230. Okay, so we see like a 10% bump right out of the gate, but they quickly plummet down after like 90 days to like the $150 level. And it usually holds true after the first of the year is when we begin to see kind of like that really deep price valley on these. But there you go, $280 to $300. But also think about the fees, because you're going to end up being somewhere in that $30 to $35 range for the eBay fees and the payment fees, like with PayPal or whatever costs it. It's 13%, 13.5% total in fees. So you need to take that into consideration. If you sell it for $300, $299.99, you'll make about $40, which is okay. But people were having issues buying this set last week, and much like any other release, like the 2-coin reverse proof Silver Eagles that sold, it was just an absolute monstrous cluster, blinkety blank, if you know what I mean. But this one was a little bit better, but still it sold out really quick. And these prices right here probably discouraged a lot of people enough that they were just ready to dump them. And I'm not going to say take a loss, but take a very small marginal profit off of these. But there you go. It's exactly what I expected. But again, I have to keep in mind that these were sold at $235 a pop. That's really pricey for a limited edition proof set. Compared to last few years, there's really not a whole lot to say. Expect these to continue to drop in price over the coming months. If your best bet of ordering one, if you missed out, is to wait until after the first of the year. These things will end up being right around probably $190 to $200. You will save money doing it that way. But yeah, if you're going to sell and make any sort of money, now's the time. Don't sit on them for too long because they are going to flatline. All right, so there's that. And then the final order of business on the Monday Morning Finance episode is going to be some pretty cool 5 coin West Point sets, and what people are doing to kind of make them a little bit more spicier. And whatever your agreement or disagreement is with these, it is what it is. People are doing these, and there are a host of other sellers that are doing the same thing. But they're taking the circulation strike coins, okay, the 5 for 2019 and 2020, and they're putting them in U.S. Mint packaging. What they're doing is they're cracking out the proof sets from this year or last year, or probably last year is more appropriate because they have the 5 ETB quarters. They take those out of there, and because these are plain, compared to years past where they actually say 50 statehood quarter program or whatever it is, these are just plain black, very classy. They're putting the coins in the little the blister sleeve that's inside of there, or that card, and then they're putting it back into the original government lenses and selling it like it is, to make it appear like this is a U.S. Mint release, when in actuality it was never released by the U.S. Mint as such. These were distributed into circulation, and you had to find them yourself. This was kind of like the big treasure hunt of 2019 and 2020. And that's why it's popular even today, because these things are moving off the market. We're beginning to see kind of a cannibalistic nature of the available supply that is currently out there today. And it's just going to dry up to a point probably in the next 18 to 24 months where you're not going to see nearly as many higher quality specimens. Now, these coins, all fantastic shape. The Marsh Billings Rockefeller that you see right here is kind of the big one out of the 5 coins for 2020. That coin alone has been selling for between $35 and $40 as of this taping. Now, this particular set right here sold with 19 bids in the amount of $81.25. If you were to add in shipping, it sold for $86. So that seems to be a pretty decent deal. If you break it down, it's just over $15 a coin, probably more so $16 and some change for each of the 5 coins listed there, which is right on rate. Unless you are buying a much larger bulk amount of these coins where you're paying $10, $11, $12 per coin, this is actually a really good deal for something like this, because it's not going to last. Okay, it's going to be real soon. We're going to see each of these coins sell for $20 for the lower end ones, like the Salt River Bay, the American Samoa, the Weir Farm, and then the other one, the Marsh Billings, will just continue to slowly, steadily go up. It'll go up a year every few months, or go up $1 every few months. And before you know it, it's gonna be a $50 coin. We might see that reality come the holiday season in 2022. So, definitely a really nice presentation. Me personally, I'm not gonna go out of my way to crack open all of my proof sets. I think the proof sets look great the way they are, but this is out there. People are doing that. Just be made aware that this is not an official U.S. Mint released item, but it's simply just a repackaging to make it look really cool. And I think it fits. I think it looks really good. And if I had the ability and I had extra lenses, I kind of want to, display it kind of like in the same fashion with both the 2019 and 2020 sets. At the very least, if you guys are able to pick up one set of each, not necessarily like packaged like this, but just in general, I mean, that's something, right? And it's going to be a set that is going to, I would assume, go up in value. Now, keep in mind, I'm not an official finance consultant or anything like that, but we do talk about coins that are trending, and we're showing real live values of these on the secondary market, and that's really what stands apart from all the other people that say, buy this and it's worth $2,000. Well, no, hold off, just a minute. Let's go ahead and kind of think about this, objectively before we go and spend, $500 on a grading submission of a bunch of modern coins. It's not satisfying. It's very risky. It's like you're dumping a bunch of money into a slot machine, expecting that you're going to win out. sometimes it happens, but most of the time it does not happen. It truly is gambling, folks. But that's what I wanted to talk about today in the Monday Morning Finance. Sure was a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of rehash a few things from the weekend. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. The weather's getting cool. The market is getting hot. And make sure you're going to your bank so you're getting your bankrolls, because it's going to be quite interesting. You're going to see just the availability of supply out there in the banking system just really dry up really fast. Not only because of coin roll hunters, because we make up a very small percentage of the actual amount of usage of that coin, but a lot of businesses are going to be carrying coin, as you would expect, to take care of some of those cash transactions. But it's posted right there at the bottom of the screen, info@livecoinqa.com. We are looking for more great coin related things to talk about and to share with you. If you got them, go ahead and send them our way. At least, debunk what you think you have. Because if you're at all second guessing what you do have, it's always good to have the opinion of 8-9 other people to really hone in on what you have. So that way you could sleep better at night. You could celebrate because you have a pretty big find, things like that. But I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I want to thank you guys for joining in on the Monday Morning Finance of Coin and Currency right here on Blue Ridge. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, but hit the dislike button if you don't. That's also important. Any sort of engagement you give me would be fantastic. But Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys have a wonderful Monday, and we will see you hopefully on the live stream.